Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm taking you through Sprocket 365. Finally, create a robust knowledge base in SharePoint. The average employee spends 20% of their work week searching for information, the equivalent of one full day every week lost to inefficiency. Without a knowledge base, businesses are losing productivity worth tens of thousands of dollars every year, even in small teams. So why would you create a knowledge base within your business? Well, firstly, you could save time and reduce repetitive questions. A well-built knowledge base means employees can self-serve answers rather than repeatedly asking colleagues or waiting for support. Faster answers equals greater productivity. Improve onboarding and training. New starters hit the ground running when your processes, templates, frequently asked questions and guides are available in one central searchable hub. Protect critical business knowledge. When key staff leave, they often take vital knowledge with them. A knowledge base captures and protects that information so your business keeps running smoothly. Enhance employee and customer experience. Frictionless access to information builds confidence and satisfaction, whether your internal teams or your customers. Support hybrid and remote work. Modern businesses aren't always working from a central office. A digital knowledge base ensures information is accessible from anywhere, anytime, on any device. Standardize business practices. A knowledge base helps you lock in the right way of doing things, not just relying on how Bob taught me or how we've always done it. Increase efficiency across departments. Sales, operations, HR, IT, everyone benefits when they can find what they need instantly without going through bottlenecks. Why use Sprocket 365 to build your knowledge base? It's built for SharePoint. It's native to Microsoft 365, so there's no new platform to learn. Maximize your Microsoft 365 investment. Leverage the platform that you already pay for. Security. It's built on Microsoft, which has an enterprise-grade security and compliance architecture. Track compliance and engagement. Monitor who has read critical policies, procedures, and knowledge articles to support compliance requirements. Fuel your AI future. A rich, structured knowledge base is essential for powering Microsoft Copilot and other AI tools, ensuring your business's information can be surfaced, learnt, and actioned by AI. Design for usability. Beautiful layouts, powerful search, smart categorization. Fast to deploy. Go live in days, not months. Keeps growing with you. New features, updates, and integrations all the time. Companies that implement structured knowledge sharing tools can boost employee productivity by 20 to 25%. A knowledge base like Sprocket 365 isn't just about saving time, it's about doing significantly more with the same team. After implementing a knowledge base, businesses have seen onboarding times drop by 90%, turning 2-week ramps into just 2-hour self-guided starts. Sprocket 365 helps you scale faster by getting new hires productive almost immediately. All right, let's build out a knowledge base together. In this demo, I'm going to be using a fictitious brand called VitaLink. We're going to build an onboarding portal for this particular knowledge base for new starters. As they join the business, they can learn everything that they need to know to get up and running quickly within their first few days starting in their new business, VitaLink. In the first section, we're going to cover off branding. Then we'll jump into building out the landing page design. We'll create some navigation structure. We'll upload some documents and we'll convert them out into knowledge bases. And then we'll get some read list functionality happening and have a bit of a look at Copilot as well. All right, let's jump in and start off with branding. So as you can see here, I've got a blank, brand new SharePoint communication site. There's two types of SharePoint sites. One is a team site and one is a communication site. The main difference is really how the permission structures work. And the biggest immediate notice would be the structure of the navigation bar. So the navigation bar is either along the top or along the left. Left if you're on a team site, communication up the top, but you can alter a team site navigation to have the navigation on the top as well, which I'm not going to cover off in this video, but it is possible. I would recommend when building a knowledge base that you would use a communication site, but either will work just fine. So I have my VitalLink brand, and what I want to do is apply some look and feel to this site. So the first thing I'm going to do is head over into the site branding section of SharePoint. And I'm going to go in and create a new theme. The primary color that I'm going to use is this pink color that I have. So I'm going to come in here and use this pink color of my Vita brand. The text color is just going to be a black color, which I'm going to go that black color. The background color I'm going to leave as white. This is not a dark theme, and the accent color I'll use this blue color that I have. Let's go in and use that blue and click on next. And we'll give it a name, and I'll call this VitalLink because that's the name of my fictitious company. And I'll go and save that. And now I'm going to use the inbuilt fonts, but this is where you could use custom fonts as well. This is all standard SharePoint at this point. So now I'm going to go back to my home site. I'm going to click on the cog. And I'm going to click on apply, oops, not apply site template. We want to change the look and apply a theme. And the theme here that I want to use is this VitalLink one. And I'm going to click on save. Now you can see that there's some of that pink is coming through. I'm going to click on the Sprocket entry button down the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm going to upload a logo. I'll click on upload, choose a file. Now I have some sample files here. This is the logo that I want to use for this site. It's on a, the font is, the text is a white text, so we're expecting this to show on a dark background that I'm going to upload shortly. And then the actual logo itself, I will use that one little thumbnail image. In the general section, a favy icon or fav icon, I'll also use that little icon. I want to turn on page feedback on this site. For the header, I want to use the Sprocket header. The logo that I want to use is also my logo. I will show the site title. I'm going to turn off minimize on scroll. I will leave it as standard for now. The font color that I want to use for the header is going to be white. The icon color is going to be white. And the background color is going to be my accent color, which is the blue. At this stage, I don't have a background image. I'm going to leave that. I want to turn off navigation for this site. I don't need any navigation because I'm going to bring in a left-hand navigation bar shortly. I'll show the following and share icons. The Knowledge Hub, I want to turn that on. I'm happy with all of that. I might call this articles just because. The breadcrumb bar color, I'm going to make that a light gray. And the font color will also be that 2424 color. Happy with everything else there. Don't need anything else at this stage. Let's go in and click Save and see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see it's starting to come together. Not looking too bad. Along the top, I want to call this site let's call this site Meeting Place. And I think that top header, I reckon we could reduce the size of that to the compact version. I want to have a play around with the font size up the top there. So don't have to do this, but I just think the logo size and the text is a little bit not quite right. So I want to increase the size of that logo. So I'm going to do a little bit of CSS here. You certainly don't need to do this. This is more for advanced users. Maybe in the future we'll have a setting in Sprocket to be able to allow this directly. But if I go the logo height, let's just make that a little bit bigger, 55 pixels. So the class that I want to put on that is going to be for the Sprocket logo inside of the Sprocket header. Mark that as important. Cool. So what we do with this CSS is that I've just copied it into the clipboard, go into advanced, and I'm going to place that CSS in there and then click on save. All right, now we've got that looking a little bit bigger. Still feels like I could tidy that up a little bit more, but for now I'm going to leave it alone. Now what I want to do is, you can see we've got our fav icon here, we've got our look and feel coming together quite nicely, we've got our left-hand navigation bar. Now the way that this left-hand navigation bar works is that every page that exists within this site is going to show on that left-hand tree, and then we can drag and drop that tree structure, the navigation structure, to build a hierarchy that's right for us. So you'll see that come together as we start going in and creating new pages within this site. Now on the home page, let's go in and build that out. All right, so I'm going to add a new full width section, and we'll use the hero web part of Sprocket. But in here, I'm going to before I configure this web part, I'm just going to configure this section. I'm going to add a background into this section. I'm going to search for some stock images. Let's just let's see what we can find. Actually, that's right. I remember I have an image in here, this little welcome image. It's dark, but I think it'll look all right in the background there. So now we've got that in the background, we can then come in and use the hero web part, and we'll add some text into here. So we'll use a separator, and in here we will just make this transparent, and in my text editor I'm going to assign this to the middle, and I'm going to say here welcome to the team, and then I've got a dynamic field of the first name. So here's all the dynamic fields that we could use. I want to say, in this case, it's going to say welcome to the team Trent, and then down below that I'll say everything you need to get started in your new role. All right, Now, I just want that to be normal text, and I want that in the center. Let's see what that looks like. So we'll save that. Beautiful. And then don't need any angle at the bottom. And then what else do I want to do? I might put a little bit of, I'll put an enter at the start just to bring that down a little bit. I've lost the bottom part. Where's that gone? If I use the spike, so the spike, just if you're wondering, if we had the spike showing, that's what it would look like, but we just pretty much reduce that so it's tiny, and then we've got it transparent, and then we've got it on the back. All right, and then underneath that, you know what, I think I want to, I've got this in a full section, but I think I want the web part underneath that. So I'm going to see if I can I move this? Yeah, I can. And I'm going to add a background again. Background, there we go. I'll delete this one. So what that allows me to do, because I'm not using a full section, I can then come in and then I can add in here some buttons, because I want to have some sort of call to actions, and I want to use the inbuilt SharePoint buttons. There's only one button at a time. So I just want to come in here and configure these buttons out. I'm going to add a button in here. Start your first. And I don't want these to be primary. Just want it like that. And I want them to be aligned to the center. And I'll add one more button, which will be meet the team. Put a hash there until I work out what that is. Right, so where's that other button not showing there? Let's try that again. There we go. So meet the team and start your first day. We want this to be maybe checklist. That icon's fine for now. Underneath that, I'm going to add another section. And this time I'm going to use the inbuilt quick links. Inbuilt being SharePoint. And let's add some links in here. This one is going to be, I'll just do manual links from now. So it looks good, which will just go to the home page of this site. I'll rewire these up. You can rewire these up later. So I want pages in here, which is going to be like set up your tech. Now the style that I want is going to be button sort of style, I think. Yeah, I think the button style. And then the library would be, let's choose, I don't know, flag in here. Like that one. Let's go add some more. Again, from a link. This one's going to be, sorry, access your email and Teams. This one will be a little folder icon. Let's do another one. This one's going to be submit your paperwork. Let's see if we've got a form in here. This one will do. Let's add another one. I want 4 on here, and we'll go view leave policy. there a plane? Okay. I think we need another 4 in here as well, but I might come back and do that shortly. Underneath that, I'm going to create another section. I don't think I'm going to need this 50-51. So underneath that, I'm going to do quick links again. But this time, I'm going to do film strip. Yeah, I think that's good. And I'll add a link in here. Again, it's going to be from a link. So I'm just going to link to the home page. And this time it's going to be your first day, what to expect. And then I'm going to upload an image. I've got one I prepared earlier. Let's add another one. This one's going to be called HR Essentials, Pay, Leave, and Benefits. Wrong button. Custom image, upload. Let's do another one. We're going to do 4 of these as well. We do workplace health and safety. Custom image. One more. Do cyber security tips. Okay, we can reorder these as well. Maybe I can't reorder in the film strip mode, which is odd. I think this one should be first. That's good, and I'll flick it back to film strip. And then below that, I want to add a 3-column section. And in here, I'm going to add the Sprocket Steps web part. And in that web part, I'm going to add some milestones. So the first one's going to be week 1. And it's going to be meet your team. And then another milestone will be month 1, training check-ins, goal setting. Now we'll say this one is completed. And then month 3, we want probation review and feedback session. This one is in progress. Looks good. Okay, key contacts. We'll use Patty as key contacts, Alex and Lydia. And we'll say here key contacts. Oh, on this one, we'll change this one to onboarding timeline. And then we haven't implemented any read list yet, but we know that we're going to put that on the page over here. My read checklist, and we'll have that up on the page there. So that is our home page coming together. Let's publish this and see what this looks like. All right, coming together. Beautiful. So let's go in and build out our navigation structure. So On the left-hand side, I'm going to have my home page, which I might rename to dashboard shortly. But in here, I'm going to come in here and add some headings. So I want to cover off tools and technology. I want to have another heading called HR and Admin Essentials. Create another section in here called Security and Compliance. I'll add another section in here called Policies and Procedures. And one more section called Culture and Perks. And I'll save that. So these are just some heading levels for us to use. So now let's go in and create some pages. So the first page that I want to create is a welcome aboard page, and I'm just going to use a blank page for now. So let's go in and click on new page. You could also click on plus and go new page. It does the same thing. And I just want to use a blank page for now. And at the top, I quite like the image and the title one. I'm going to say welcome aboard. In the background, I'm going to pick an image. I like the stock images. I find that if there's a really helpful search typing in dark that I think brings up a lot of cool abstract headings, which works quite well in a lot of cases. So that little helpful tip for you. So that background image is coming in now. We've got the welcome aboard, and then I've just got some text in my clipboard that I'm just going to paste in here, which is just laying out for them a bit of a reminder around our values, our culture, and what their first week looks like. I'm going to publish that page. And you'll notice that once we publish this page, we're going to see that page on the left-hand navigation bar. And I'm just going to drag that up underneath here. This hidden pages I'm also going to move down to the bottom. And so now we have our welcome aboard page. Let's create another page now. I've got, again, some content in my clipboard. I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a copy of this page, because I sort of like the header and the style, but I could save it as a template. I might do that next. But here I'm going to call this page Your First Day. Oops. What to expect. The image at the top, I'm going to go in and let's do, I like the dark theme again. This one's pretty neat. Got some text here that I'm going to put into my clipboard. Oops. Underneath that, I'm going to use the Sprocket alert web part. I've got a little call out here, and I'm going to do that. Underneath that, I'm going to add a new section actually. We'll do this sort of layout. Got some text in my clipboard again. So I'm going to add the text web part and paste that into there. On the right hand side, I've got a little video. So it's on YouTube. Which is first day at work tips. And I had a little caption here called hot tips. Cool. And I'm going to publish that page. If the page doesn't show on the left-hand navigation bar, what you can do is you can just refresh the page. And that page will show on the left-hand nav, and drag and drop that over to there. Cool. So now let's keep going through, creating some more pages. I've got another page. Let's save this page. I like this welcome aboard layout because it's nice and easy. I've got a lot of sort of pages that have this, like just this single column with text coming down the page. So I'm just going to go in and modify this page and click on this little down arrow ellipsis, chevron, and click on Save as Template. And we'll call this page Simple Content Page. Okay. I'll say content goes here. Turn comments off, and we'll save page template. So now what it means when I'm on any page and I come and add a new page, I've got page templates saved on this site. I've got this simple content page. So I can click Create Page. And on this page, I'm going to call it Setting Up Your Laptop. Again, we will find a neat one that maybe represents some technology. That looks pretty techy. And I've got some content in my clipboard as well. Now, because this is a longer sort of style page, what I might do is just at the top of this is put in the Sprocket table of contents web part. So now when I click on publish, the table of contents will generate based on the content that's on the page, allowing people to click on a particular section to jump down to that particular area. So left-hand side, we now want to drag and drop this one up into Tools and Technology. So you can see now we're starting to build out the hierarchy. In a lot of these pages is content, and what you want to do now is go and build out these different pages. I'm going to go ahead and build out these pages again. I'll keep the recording running, but I think I'll speed this up. Otherwise, it's going to get a little bit boring and you just watching me copy and pasting content. All right, here we go. Actually, this part is a little bit different in that I'm going to create an accordion web part. I'm going to add some questions, some frequently asked questions. So accordion would come in. I've got some sample questions here. Should I use desktop or browser? And then what web browser should I use? Okay, I'm happy with these settings, and I'll go frequently asked questions, turn commenting off, publish the page. Okay, I have my site built out now with most of the content that I want. So I'm pretty happy with how it's coming together. I do have some existing policies that I want to bring in that exist in Word documents. And I've also got some like information security and compliance stuff that I want to fit within the security and compliance stuff. So actually I might create one more heading while I'm here, and I'll call this information security. I'll bring that up into security and compliance. So that's just a placeholder. I'm going to go and create some policies, bring in some existing policies now. So I'll show you how we do that. Every time we've got a new SharePoint site, we get a document library in here. So if I go into site contents, we've got a document library in here called Shared Documents. We could add this to the navigation bar if we want, but what's called document, sorry, we don't want our users coming into this document library. This is just going to be an area in which we store our original policies, but we don't want our users coming in to look at these. We actually want them to be pages within our knowledge base. So let me go and grab some existing policies. So I'm just going to go and drag and drop these into this document library. So you can see here I've got 7 policies. We'll go in and check those out in a moment. And we've also got some IT policies in here as well, which is just a hot desking policy. So what I want to do now is if we go in and have a look at, so say for example, change management policy and procedure. Let's go and have a look at this one. So we've got some content in here with some styling, some headings, some tables, etc. So it's a pretty decent document. Let's go and have a look at our patch and vulnerability management policy. That'll be pretty similar, same sort of formatting. And then have a look at our work from home policy. Cool. This one, I'm just going to tweak because we're going to want that in the header. I'll explain more shortly. So pretty happy with these 3 policies. So now I want them available to the workforce to come in and read these policies. So we wanted our work from home one, we could convert them all, but we also wanted our change management one and our business continuity and disaster recovery. So with each of these ones, I'm going to go and convert these. These are the 3 documents. For the template that I want, let's use that simple content page one, just for simplicity. We also want to convert them to a PDF at the same time and go and convert those 3 documents. Right, so there's one done. So if we have a look at that one, we can see the page and also the PDF. It's left that text in there, which is a little bit annoying. So this one's converted out the content into a page. So I'll go in and modify this page and I'm going to delete out this section. That's because I selected the template and the template had that. So it honored that within the template. And I'll republish that one. And I want this to live within our policies and procedures section. And you see change management policy has come through. Let's go and have a look at that one. Same thing, the content has come through, this sample content, so I'll go and delete that. Because this is a longer document, I'm also going to add in here, we could have added this within the template, but I'll add a table of contents and I'll republish that. And then this one we also want to live in policies and procedures. And then that 3rd one will be done now, which is this one as well. So I don't have to click on the links when I refresh the page because every page shows in the left-hand nav. That 3rd article will be on the left-hand side, the business continuity. So I can click onto that one. There's the content that has come in from the Word document. I'm going to drag and drop this up into policies as well. And I'm going to go in and remove that placeholder content. This time I'm going to change the layout on the right hand side. I'm going to put the table of contents. All right, so now we've quickly brought some content in. These heading levels, it's honored the styles of the Word document. And in a lot of cases, that might be what you want it to do. In my case, I actually just want to clean these up a little bit. I want all headings to be in my navy blue color. So I'm going to do a CSS override here. This is more for advanced use, but if you wanted to, you could do so. So what I want to do is on all heading ones and within on our H1 tag. So the color, could be red. That's not wanted because we also want it on the span tags. All right, and my navy blue color is that one there. So subtle change, but that's how it is. And then we also want that on our H2 tags as well. So let's go and apply it to H2. So there's a H2 tag. I also think, just as they come over into SharePoint, I think they need a little bit of padding at the bottom just to clean it up a little bit. So we'll do that. So this CSS, we want to copy that to clipboard, come into Sprocket settings, and we're going to paste that in there as well. So we want all of our heading 1 and 2 tags to be in that color, just so it's consistent across the site. There you go, that's looking good. Cool. So we've now got our content in place. We've brought in some documents from existing Word documents. I want to add one more page into here. We'll just use a blank page. I want to add in the People Hub web part. So I'm going to delete this section at the top. Delete this. And let's add in a full width section, and we'll add in, delete this part, turn off comments, we'll add in the People Hub web part. And at the top of this web part, we'll add in our CEO, or president it's called. We'll put that in as Patty. And I'm pretty happy with everything else as defaults in there. I am going to show in panel. I'm going to turn off the title. That all looks pretty good. I want to see the organization chart. So I'm going to add that, publish it. So this meet the team we'll put up here. Now we have our lovely landing page. We've got a welcome aboard page. We've got a meet the team page. This is the People Hub web part, which is a contact directory, org browser, and org chart, so we can go and see who's who within the business. So that's nice for new starters, what to expect on their first day. We've got content in here, HR policy, our policies and procedures. So a work from home policy, which is come in directly from a Word document and maintained in a Word document. So what else do we have left to do for our knowledge base? What about we go and set up a read list? So now that we're all set up in here, what we want to do is make sure that our workforce has come in and read this content. So I'm going to go into read list admin. I'm going to go into read list, and we'll call this read list a new starter. And when people start at our company, they're free to browse through all the pages. I don't need them to read every page, but I want them to know that they are across their employment contract. That's important. They need to know how to submit leave. Health and safety is super important. Cybersecurity, all these policies are super important. Around security, work from home policy is important, and performance and feedback, super important. And I'm going to target this to everybody in the business. So I have a group called Our Team. So every time someone joins the business, they're a part of this group called Our Team. They might be affiliated with other groups, and you could target those, but in this case, everybody who comes into the business, I want them to have access to this site, and I want them to have read all of these particular pages. And I'll click on Save, and our read list has been created. So what it means is when I log into this site now and I look at my read list on the home page, it's going to tell me all the pages that I need to go through and read. So you can see the required pages are coming up here. Also, you'll see the read list always available up here as well. So when I click through to say the code of conduct, I can come through to this page. I can look at the content on this page, and then I can mark it as read. And I acknowledge that I've read and understood the contents of this page for auditing compliance purposes. And it's now been marked as read, and I can continue reading through the different pages that essentially my manager has said that I need to come through and read. And administrators can then come in and have a look at the analytics around this, so they can go and see who's read what particular pages. And if I do a search for myself and click through into me, we can see that I read this page today, but these are the pages that I've still not yet gone through and read. Awesome. So that's the read list. The last little feature that is quite helpful for users as well is the ability for them to be able to submit feedback. So on these pages, users can come in and say, this is great, but this was a little hard to understand. Submit that. And so then that gets stored into the SharePoint list for administrators to monitor and for them to come in and make changes based on the feedback. Now let's have a look at how Microsoft Copilot and AI leverages the content of this site. So I have Copilot available to me here. Anywhere in the site, I've got access to Copilot. It'll load up. I've created a little agent in here which has got a few little prompts to get us started. So I don't mind this one. Do I need approval to work from home, or what is our policy? This might be a common question that comes up from a new starter. So let's submit that, and let's see what Copilot tells us, learning from the content of this knowledge base. The way that Copilot works is that it taps into Microsoft Search. So anything that is indexed or searchable within the site, Copilot can also learn from. So here you go. It says to work from home, you need to submit a formal request to your immediate supervisor, etc., etc. And you can see it provides a reference as to where it got that content from. If I click through to that page, it's going to take us to that knowledge base article that we put together earlier on. You can see here all the full details are available. So that's really, really cool. And again, as your content gets mature and more content, more people ask more questions, it's ready for Copilot to continue to provide a nice user experience and for employees to become more productive in the future. All right, and there you have it. Your new onboarding knowledge base is set up and ready to go. Hope you enjoyed the demo. If you have any questions, you can send us through an email, support@sprocket365.com. If you're ever unsure on how to use any of the functionality of Sprocket, I encourage you to head over to the documentation website. There you'll find all sorts of helpful information, including all the different web parts that are available to you, with each of those web parts providing a getting started video. So it's super easy to get up and running nice and quickly. Again, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your day.